using Kirchhoff's laws, arrive at it should be a complicated arrangement. If current is flowing in the same direction, the balancing condition of a Wheatstone's network, you told it should have many number of circuit elements, resistors, capacitors. Hello students, this is SD Sir again from the Temple of Excellence. This session taking you all to the destiny of the master chapter, the last session on the electric current chapter, but a very important discussion, something called Wheatstone's network. My dear students, before we proceed on to this session, let's recall a few concepts of KCL and KVL which is done in the previous session. What did KCL say? The algebraic sum of the currents at a node of an electrical network is always 0. When did you take current to be positive? Only when it was entering the node. When did you take current negative? Only when it was leaving the node. And I told KCL is based on the principle of conservation of charges. And my KVL told the algebraic sum of EMF as well as potential IR product where it is in the closed loop of an electrical network was 0. And we told KVL is based on the principle of conservation of energy. Now, as I told, the last topic, Wheatstone's network. What was a Wheatstone's network will be discussed now. Please to understand a very important 5 marker for your examination. So quite often asked, this is one question which is frequently asked in the examination, that is using Kirchhoff's laws, arrive at the balancing condition of a Wheatstone's network. You studied what is a network previously. You told it should be a complicated arrangement. You told it should have many number of circuit elements, resistors, capacitors, inductors, energy sources. This is Wheatstone's network, which was designed by a Dutch physicist, Graham Wheatstone. A complicated electrical circuit, the so-called network, which was designed by a Dutch physicist, Graham Wheatstone. So if you observe this network, you can find there are 4 resistors, what I call as P, Q, R and S. So a Wheatstone's network is an arrangement of 4 resistors which are always connected in a cyclic order. Please to remember, A Wheatstone's network is an arrangement of 4 resistors connected in a cyclic order in the shape of a cyclic quadrilateral. We have a cell whose EMF is E connected between the arms A and C. So in the network, there is a cell whose EMF is E. It is connected between the arms A and C. And a galvanometer of resistance G connected between the arms B and D. And Ig is the current flowing through the galvanometer. So this is all what a Wheatstone's network looks like. Description of a Wheatstone's network. 4 resistors P, Q, R and S. They are connected to form a cyclic quadrilateral. E is the EMF between the arms A and C of the network. G, galvanometer between the arms B and D. And Ig is the current flowing through the galvanometer. Point number 1, you do an experiment called meter bridge based on this principle. So whatever topics are taught, they form relevant Viva questions also. Understand, a Wheatstone's network is said to be balanced when Ig is equal to 0. Ketar Parikshali, when do you say a meter bridge is balanced? It is a modified form of Wheatstone's network. So a Wheatstone's network is said to be balanced when Ig is equal to 0. What do you mean by Ig being equal to 0? It means the current flowing through the galvanometer should be 0. There should be no current flowing through the galvanometer. The pointer of the galvanometer should show 0. Only under that condition we say Wheatstone's network is balanced. So understand, when is Wheatstone's network balanced? When Ig is equal to 0. What is Ig being equal to 0? The current flowing through the galvanometer should be 0. Now we go to the mathematical condition for the balance of a Wheatstone's network. Now what do? I will apply KCL to the node B. So whatever you have studied in your previous session, can I call B as the node? Yes. Why? 2 resistors with the galvanometer connected at that same point. So I am applying KCL, current law, at the node B. So which are the currents flowing through that node? It is I1, I3 and Ig. So current flowing through the node B will be I1, I3 and Ig. Is I1 positive or negative? Yes, good. I1 is entering the node. Therefore, it has to be positive. What about I3? Leaving the node, negative. Ig coming out of the node, sir. Therefore, it is negative. So, I1 is positive, I3 is negative, and Ig is also negative. So, according to KCL, I1 minus I3 minus Ig is equal to 0. Or rearranging, I3 is equal to I1 minus Ig. So repeating again, I have applied KCL to the node B. I1 is positive as it enters the node. I3 is negative as it leaves the node. Ig is also negative as it is leaving the node, and by KCL this algebraic sum is equal to 0. Therefore I3 is I1 minus Ig. Similarly, applying KCL to node D. Now apply Kirchhoff's current law to the node D. Which are the currents flowing through that node? I2, I4, and also Ig. So what about I2, my dear students? Is it positive or negative? It is positive since it is entering the node D. What about I4? Clean, sir. It is negative as it is going away from the node. Beautiful. What about Ig? It is again flowing into the node, coming into the node. So Ig now is treated positive. I2 positive, Ig positive, I4 negative. Therefore, I2 minus I4 plus Ig is equal to 0, or I4 is equal to I2 plus Ig. So initially what have I done? I have applied Kirchhoff's current law to the node B and node D, from which I have got the values of I3 and I4. Now I will apply KVL voltage law to the mesh A, B, D, A. Mesh andre enu anta helide? The point where you start, you are traversing back to the same point. A, B, D, A. So now we generally believe current should flow from the positive of a cell. So current starts here, positive, and it is flowing in this direction. Look at the direction of I1. So I want you all to observe this I1. Is it in the same direction of traverse? Yes, I1 and direction of traverse are the same. If current is flowing in the same direction, what should happen to the IR product? It has to become negative. So here it is minus I1 into P. So why minus I1 into P? That is because current is flowing in the same direction. So IR product becomes negative. Now, what about Ig? Again, if you observe, Ig is in the same direction of traverse. In whatever direction traverse is considered, Ig is flowing in the same direction. So Ig into G, resistance of the galvanometer, is negative. But on the other hand, if you consider I2, look at these two directions, very clearly opposite to each other. I2 is opposite to the direction of traverse. Therefore, I2 into R should be positive. So very clearly again, I1 is opposite, or it is along the direction of traverse. In whatever direction it is given, same direction. So minus I1P, again IG in the same direction. So minus I2 into G. But very clearly, I2 is opposite. So plus I2 into R. According to KVL, this algebraic sum should be equal to the algebraic sum of the EMFs. But why is that I am taking EMF as 0 here? If you observe, there is an EMF E. My dear students, this EMF is for the entire network. E is the EMF for this entire Wheatstone's bridge. But KVL told the algebraic sum of EMF and potential in a closed loop. The mesh which you have considered should have an EMF in it. Here, A, B, C, D does not have a cell. It does not have an individual EMF. Therefore, I am considering EMF to be 0. So, understand very clearly by the application of the law, it is the mesh or the loop which you have considered should have an EMF, and I am not taking into consideration the EMF of the entire network. Now, similarly, I apply KVL to mesh B, C, D, B, Q or I3. If you observe I3 very clearly, it is in the same direction. So minus I3Q plus I4S, because I4 is in the opposite direction, plus IG into J, opposite direction. Again, the second mesh B, C, D, B doesn't have an EMF, so it is equal to 0. Now what do? I know the values of I3 and I4. I have calculated the values of I3 and I4. I substitute. Instead of I3, I1 minus IG into Q. I am just substituting I3 and I4. Instead of I3, I1 minus IG into Q plus I4 is I2 plus IG into S plus IG into G is equal to 0. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ I3 ಮತ್ತು I4 ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. I3 is I1 minus IG. I4 is I2 plus IG plus IG into G is equal to 0. Now what was the condition for the balance of Wheatstone's network? IG has to be 0. Apply this condition for equation 1. IG becomes 0. So equation 1 becomes minus I1P plus I2R is equal to 0. or minus I1P equals minus I2R. This is only because under balancing condition Ig becomes 0. Similarly, equation 2, Ig into Q reduces, Ig into S reduces, Ig into G reduces. So you have minus I1Q plus I2S is equal to 0, or minus I1Q equals minus I2S. Take the ratio of 3 and 4. Minus gets cancelled, I1 gets cancelled, minus gets cancelled, I2 gets cancelled. So we have P by Q is equal to R divided by S. And this effectively is called the balancing condition of a Wheatstone's network. So beautifully you see here, using Kirchhoff's laws, I have derived the balancing condition for Wheatstone's network. Now therefore, what is the use of the Wheatstone's network? If you observe this expression, this is the ratio of the resistances. P divided by Q is R divided by S, which means if I know one of the resistances, I can clearly calculate the other. Or if I know the 3 resistances, the unknown resistance can be clearly calculated. Now we study a device called meter bridge on assessment of the Wheatstone's network. This is basically what is called experimental discussion. When I take up the experiment on meter bridge, yes, I will talk about the construction and working. With this, students, I end up with the master chapter, electric current. They are all very beautiful concepts. One has to know these concepts, yes, if your interest lies in physics and electronics. As I told, maximum weightage. Please do study, be thorough with all these concepts, including the concepts for your practicals. The next session, I start with a new chapter, moving charges and magnetism. Until then, stay tuned, stay healthy. Thank you.